Alright, just before the ads hit, just gonna see if things are gonna be stable from here on out. I probably won't play any music or anything in the background until things are like okay. So I'm just gonna chill and gonna vibe. My hair looks like a mess. I'm gonna also snooze the ads until like I know for sure everything's okay. So sorry for the disruptions, if you guys were here. I mean, speaking of Mercury retrograde and disruptions and delays, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. You know, everyone else has been having issues connecting to the Twitch servers, and it was just bound to happen over here. So, not surprised whatsoever. If you're all finally coming back in, thank you so much for your patience, for dealing with the disruption of this stream. We're just gonna hold space. We're just gonna hold space. I'm not gonna play any music. This is gonna get weird. I'm not gonna play any music for stream. You VOD viewers, you're used to not hearing music, and that's fine. But like, I'm not gonna play music because the connection is just a little bit tenuous, and I'm just not gonna risk it. So we're just gonna have to sit in silence and hold space. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait out for like 5 minutes or so. It looks like it is stable enough. We may be able to continue on with the stream. So so far I finished the fire signs and earth signs. We're just gonna jump into the air signs and water signs. Air signs first. And I don't think I'm gonna have time for personal readings. I thought I did, but like I double checked my time here and I realized I didn't. So apologies again. But if you do want to stick around, I'm sure there will be a message that will be helpful from the group readings if you are one of those astrological signs. And in an hour or so, we'll be able to read over to someone who'll be able to give you a personal reading. If they are on and they're not like dealing with disruptions from Twitch. You know. It looks like it's going to be stable. You know, knock on wood. So let's go ahead and move on. With air signs. And go from there. And because of this inconvenience, I'm going to try my best to dismiss the ads so we can like get through this as quickly as possible for everyone. So air signs, same thing. We are going to look at what you can control, what you can't control, and what adjustments you need to make. Oh, and I'm out of coffee, but it's running a little bit late. I'm just not going to. Not right now. Air signs are going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You could use your sun sign or any other significant astrological parts. You could look into that as well. Okay, so what's in disarray? The sun in reverse. Okay, we have the Magician in reverse. This is kind of like the focus of the spread. What our domain is that we need to like look over. What is out of our hands that we need to ignore is the Hangman in reverse. Interesting. We also have Two of Wands in reverse for what is in our wheelhouse that we have to say no to. What we do need to keep, but need to maintain and like pay attention to, that is the Page of Cups. And last but not least, what we need to protect because it gives us joy, that is the Four of Swords. Again, this is for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I may look into the book for the Page of Cups real quick. After I find a card that's going to be a helper. Okay, what is this? Okay, we have two of them. They're both really strong. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. But we'll consider this too. If we need to. I think I know what the Page of Cups is. I just want to double check myself. I went a little too far. There we go. You know, I was thinking like creative projects or something of that regard, but I think this is going to be like close to a love reading or something like that, or at least making connections with other people, which totally makes sense for air signs. We're very social kind of people. Not being social for social's sake, but like in order to communicate ideas, you know, we had to talk to someone about it, right? So it's a good thing I read that card, because it may be something else entirely. Okay, let me think. Let me also look at the Ten of Wands. I think that is where things will become super clear for me. Okay. Alrighty. So it's not romance. It is about delegating. It's like work-life balance more than anything. I think this is what it's focusing on. Work-life balance. I think I see the ads wanting to pop in while I was looking through for answers. Just in case it didn't. I'm going to go ahead and move on. So, we are very blue, very insecure, very sad, not really confident with ourselves, simply because we are dealing with unrealistic expectations. Ads. We're dealing with ads. I can't win. I can't win. Ads. Oh well. I will hop back into this after the ads are done. Please do enjoy them. We're just gonna, do a timeout until it's over. Let me go deep dive into the Magician. I think the reason why I'm having a hard time with this reading is because I'm in this group. This is part of my sun sign. And since I'm part of it, things were maybe a little bit muddled for me. Hi! If you're just joining in, sweet and sauerkraut, I am now doing air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for the Aries season. So if you're just coming back, welcome back. So the domain that's in question here, or at least the focus of this card, is dealing with the... Yeah, I'm just getting into it. I'm just getting into this reading for all air signs. Okay. So with the Magician here, This is kind of like the focus of the spread, and the focus here is dealing with either lack of success or like plans are not going your way. And it could also be that someone may be pushing for something that is not likely to succeed. And all the hard work that has been put into it, or you're trying to make something happen, isn't just manifesting. That type of thing. And it's usually from not having a clear plan, not having anything that's solid. It could also be dealing with moving goalposts. You achieve one goal, now you have to achieve this next thing, or you were achieving a goal and then it moved on you before you had the chance to achieve it. It could be those type of things. It could also be dealing with a person who is very temperamental, like someone who has tantrums, which could be like the reason why we have the Page of Cups here, like dealing with kids type of thing. But I'm going to go away from the topic of kids to kind of focus on something a little bit more abstract and broad concept. I hope y'all don't mind. Because of these frustrations, understandably, you're kind of in this not really depressive state, but you're getting there. You're like very morose. You're moody, you're feeling down, you don't see the bright side of things, you're very pessimistic. Things are not really going your way, or at least things are like crumbling where you expect them to not crumble. What plans you had are just kind of like dissipating, vanishing before your eyes. And you have to make some adjustments, and you just hate that. You work so hard for one thing, and then you have to like switchblade to the next. Or you're working for this one goal, now you have to do this other goal. And it's very exhausting. And it's not fun to deal with. And it's very understandable and valid that you are feeling down with this sun in reverse that I'm saying here. So that is kind of like the chaos with the whole domain that's going on, dealing with this. I'm putting in the hard work, or I'm trying to make this manifest and nothing's coming out of it. That kind of situation, no matter what you do. It's letting you know, kind of like stay in your own lane type of thing with this hangman in reverse, and also like how do you lighten your load kind of situation here. You can't control things that are on a national level, okay? Unless you're one of the people in the room, you can't really do much with how things are rolling out of this administration that are affecting all the institutions nationwide. There's no, objectively, things are disruptive, things have changed. Things have been downsized, things have been cut, things have been erased. It's letting you know that while it's valid that you are keeping track of these things, you cannot control it. Okay. And even though it's okay to like keep an eye on things, to be informed, I understand this idea of FOMO, not being the person being left out of a situation or being left out of a known situation, but you're going to have to ignore trying to be in control of a situation. More than anything, it's asking you to accept not knowing how things are going to play out and just roll with the punches. You're not going to be able to dictate how people are going to react to these administrative changes. And you can't really force them to do what you want them to do. You're just... a person. You know, it's really tough, you know, to feel this way. Um, but that doesn't mean like you give up, okay? It's nothing like that. It's not like giving up on others. You can't really change their minds. It's about giving up having set expectations, giving up comparing yourself to others. You know, it's going back to the fire signs. You see other people who are doing well, who are able to achieve things that have been working really hard on, and things are coming into fruition for them. And you're looking at your field that you've been sowing, and you're like, why is this not coming up? Why are they getting a bounty and I have no harvest? You know, it's letting you know you can't control what is going to work for someone, what is not going to work for someone, and like how these, you know, dominoes are falling for others and those around you. It's just best to kind of like stay in your own lane and just kind of have to ignore what's going on, you know, with everyone else. You know, don't compare yourself, don't minimize yourself, you know, let go of this concept that this is a very stagnant, permanent thing that you are experiencing. Again, we're seeing that things are like temporary, this too shall pass, kind of talking from these cards today. As we get into the rest of April, it's just like letting everyone know that even though there are delays and disruptions, or things are not just coming along, it's about learning how to be still while you're doing the prep work and the background, you know, maintenance that you need to do. So that way you are prepared when things do, you know, come along, how to take the opportunity that's given to you and run with it when it does happen. But for now, you're going to have to focus on your work, ignore comparing yourself to others because they're on a different track of their own journey, and it's going to look different from everyone, and you just can't really compare. You know, you may be an apple, but they're not an apple. They're maybe an orange, you know, kind of situation. So that's what they're asking you to do, air signs, when this is happening. And it's not just creative projects, it's whatever you are passionate about that you have been invested in, like on a mental, emotional level, you know. Something that you are focusing on for a while. It could be like education, it could be like a career path, it could be a certain goalpost, you know. It could be a certain industry you want to be involved with, or you are involved with, and you have certain goalposts that you wish to achieve. That type of thing. So don't worry about everyone else's successes, and try to ignore like what's going on with the world that's going on today, you know, that type of thing. I know that we want to like keep on top of everything because that's what we do as air signs. We like to, you know, stay in communication with everyone, and you know, part of it is accepting news, looking out for news, that type of thing. In the meantime, you're going to have to say no to things that is going to put too much on your plate. You already are experiencing a lot of stress with whatever you're trying to make happen. Okay, and it's already enough. You know, don't fool yourself that it's not. Don't minimize yourself or minimize what you're trying to do. It is enough, and it does require a lot of work. And you will have to say no to a lot of activities or plans or whatever that's going to take more time and resources than you really have. That's going to keep you away from like this project that you're having a hard time making happen. So another thing you're going to have to do is learn how to delegate. If there's something or part of a thing that is distracting you, causing you to weigh down, that it would be easier for you to like hand off to someone so you could focus on whatever it is, do it. And allow other people to help you out and let them take on that burden while you focus on what you need to do. I remember having like some issues earlier this year about trying to do everything. I was dealing with social media. I was trying to make my book 3 happen. That's still in process right now. And I was dealing with taxes. And I was keeping up with what's going on in the world, with the news, everything. I was trying to do everything all at once. And it was just not working. And I was just in this terrible mental state. And everyone was noticing how my mood was just really sour. And I just felt like I can't do anything. Even though I'm doing everything in my personal power to make things happen. I couldn't carry, all the plates. So by delegating, like, some of my stuff that I wasn't able to, like, keep up with, I was able to concentrate on the things that require my unique attention, which was my creative project. I know someone who's able to manage my finances, for instance, and I let them shoulder that burden because I trust their capabilities to do that. You just don't trust anyone else to do things right. There is someone has a certain skill set that could help lighten your load. If there is a lot of things that are on your plate and there are not really keeping you focused on what you're trying to bring out, it's best to leave it. If you don't have anyone who's willing to work on it, let it go. You could drop it. Or let someone carry it for you because they have that skill set. I know we have this mentality, I can't trust anyone, I don't like anyone, I have to be on my own, be a lone wolf kind of situation. But with this recession that's happening, we have to be a community. We have to depend on others. Especially depend on those who are willing to be in our corner to make things happen. So if you have someone who's willing to help you out, let them. Otherwise, you're going to have to say no to any other new projects that they want you to do, or that requires your attention, or you think that you can do it, but you really don't. You already have enough on your plate. So this is about learning how to delegate and how to say no so you could concentrate on this. And also ignoring other people's, successes or failures, so that way you can stay on task. I think more than anything, it's staying on task. That's where the frustration is coming through. Like everything is grabbing your attention. And you feel like you have to know everything. You really don't. Unless you're part of that administration, unless that is part of your job, you really don't need to know. What you're doing right now is enough. At the very least for this end of the month and going into April. This is important enough. This is taking a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that you have been focusing on. More than anything, what needs correction is your mental state. And part of the mental state is feeling the weight on your shoulders. How do we remove that weight? So that way you could turn this around and have a little bit more of a senior disposition where you're like, wow, I could do it. I could do this thing. Fair enough? Okay, good. So I hope that makes sense for a lot of people. I know that's like a little bit hard to hear. But, you know, eventually you have to trust. You have to trust someone who is in your corner, who is supporting you. You know, you can't be alone. That's just not how it's going to work from here on out. We have Page of Cups and we have Four of Swords. Positive? Jordals! Hi! Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming in. My name is Archer Spark, also known as Sparky. I am a dark fantasy author. I published a book called The Doppelganger Queen. That was back in December. You could click down below. You could also do !book. Hello everyone, welcome in. I also do tarots once a week on Wednesdays, and you're in it. I'm doing the tarot readings. Welcome in everyone. Thank you so much, Jordals, for coming in. Let me give you a shout out. If you are lurking, chilling, and vibing, and you don't know who Jordals is, she is a fellow queer tarot reader as well, and she is awesome. Oops. Let's do a shout out. Hello, Jordals. I hope that your stream have went well. What were you streaming? Oops. I was moving my keyboard and that happened. Whoops. Anywho, if you haven't followed Jordals, please do so. They are a variety streamer. They also include tarot. Not only tarot, but also games. I also do games as well. I'm in the middle of the Final Fantasy IX series. I've been doing those on Saturdays. And I also have a little bit of a YouTube going on if you want to look at YouTube. But welcome in. We're doing air signs. Today is a little bit special. We're looking into Aries season. And Aries season is about spring cleaning. What you can focus on, what you can't, what you need to ignore, what you need to toss out, what you need to keep, you know, what sparks joy kind of situation. And it's been very insightful. And then, you know, Twitch just like disrupted everything and I have to like restart stream. So I've been in the middle of this reading. I already did fire signs and earth signs. And now I'm doing air signs. Water signs will come up soon. Let me go ahead and go back to see if there's any comments here I have missed. How am I? I am doing well. I am doing well. I'm still working on the third book. Trying to get the first draft done. Pacing myself this week because last week and kind of like this week has been a little bit disruptive. Go figure, you know, Mercury retrograde. Why was I surprised? I shouldn't be surprised. But it's been slow and steady progress. And that makes me happy. Today has been really good other than like the Twitch, you know, disruption. So can't help that. We are in the middle of the air signs reading. If you are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, maybe this reading will help you out. If not, I have done like some other general readings in the very beginning of the stream. I will publish those VODs very soon. So you'll be able to like check those out and see if that message resonates with you. And same thing for those who were earth signs and fire signs. If I already missed you, apologies. You could always go back and look at those. So what we have learned, Ava 1, for air signs is that things have been very slow in making things happen with whatever air signs have been focusing on. It is blood, sweat, and tears in this project that has been requiring their time and resources. And, understandably, we have a sun in reverse, and things are kind of gray and blue. It's a very pessimistic feeling, or a pessimistic thinking, that, oh no, things are not working out for me, I'm doomed, kind of thing. And that's not really the case. It's just trying to focus on this while ignoring everything else to make this happen. It's a little bit more, as I was reading this, about like staying focused and trying to keep your eyes on the prize while making this happen. It will happen eventually. It's just going to take time to do so. Maybe a little bit more of a game plan change if necessary, but definitely like trying to focus on this than other things. The other things that we were mentioning is this hangman in reverse. This is something that is out of our wheelhouse. This is not within our control. And it's about other people's accomplishments that we are witnessing. We can't really, control who is successful, who's not successful, who's going to get the prize, who's not going to get the prize, that type of thing. And because we can't control that, that is not something we're going to have to focus on, because it's a distraction more than anything, wallowing in the sense of, oh, they're doing well and I'm not, so I must be a failure, right? No. No, you're not a failure. It's possible the other people you have been looking at, air signs, have been on this journey longer than you have a lot more disruptions and issues that they're not revealing to you because you're just, a stranger outside looking in. You only see the surface of this situation. And it probably took years and years for them to finally manifest to where they are. And there's no need to get jealous of what they have, because it's probably something that you will experience on your own as you continue on your path, whether it's your career path, your educational path, creative path, whatever it is that you're focusing on with your whole mental, emotional, financial resources, everything that you're striving to make it happen. It does take some blood, sweat, and tears. You just not seeing the blood, sweat, and tears other people's have dealt to make their dreams come true, so to speak, or the accomplishments they have experienced. So this is something you're going to have to ignore and don't worry about, because it's not for you, it's for them. Your time will come. This is, in a way, a good message. It's just letting you know that things will happen. You will make a break. There will be opportunities. This is just kind of like a holding pattern, a little bit of a preparation stage where you're getting the practice in, doing the work, so that way when the opportunity does come along, you are ready to grab it and make it happen. And also, a little side note, this is also focusing on the problems of the world too. Not just the positives, but also the negatives. And this could be news that is happening, keeping an eye on what's going on with our nation or state or our neighbors, just negative news, negative reactions, that type of thing. I mean, definitely for sure, we can't control those type of things. Okay. And I know that us air signs want to keep in the know, because that's how we thrive. Especially like Geminis, you know, keeping in with new information. Aquarius people like having like new technology and info. You don't have to. You really don't have to. Unless it's part of your profession to know these things, you really don't. Because this is what you need to wrangle in. This is your domain. This is really out of your wheelhouse. So unless you're part of this, you know, situation that we're experiencing, keep your eyes on the prize. This is enough. Also, another thing that is in your wheelhouse is all the responsibilities that you have on your plate. All the things that you're trying to do to make this happen. It may be time for you to start delegating some things. That's one manifestation of this card, is learning how to delegate your responsibilities. I was telling one person earlier that I had to delegate my finances to someone who's able to handle finances while I concentrate on my book, you know, my stories, and like everything that is pertaining to that creation process. And I can't worry about taxes or anything like that. I had to delegate, which is not something I like doing. Okay, I like to do it all. But eventually you have to. You have to lift that burden so that way you can do the focus that you need to do to make things happen. And I didn't realize it until now. It could also be delegating some of the creative parts to make this happen. You can't do this on your own. This is not a one-man trick show. If it's something like a movie, I know Markiplier was talking about this on his podcast, where he was making this movie and it's been a long, arduous process, and he realized he has to delegate some tasks to others, and he has to manage people. And that may also be a similar situation you may have to consider. If this is a very large behemoth of a task that you're wrangling, it doesn't necessarily have to be a major creative project. It could be something you're passionate about. If it is something that is worth delegating, this is also something you may have to consider. What you do need to say no to is adding more on your plate. Adding more to what you already have. That's going to distract you from what you need to focus on, which is this thing, which is the Magician. So that's what we have discovered so far with the spread before we go into the keep pile. That sparks our joy. Oh my goodness, and I forgot to tell you, Turtles, if you need to run from raiding, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you so much for the raid. If you need to, like, drink some water, get some food, get some rest, do what you need to do to, like, recuperate from a really long stream, please do so. I really appreciate and love you. You don't have to stick around here if you need to, like, duck out and run. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. And if anyone needs to, like, recuperate and, like, hydrate and everything and all that jazz, please do so. Please take care of yourselves. I will be yammering all the time. Oh, and Beetlejuice, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you for joining in. So what can you keep that you can focus on? Since we're talking about things that we need to ignore, we need to say no, what can we say yes to? We have the Page of Cups here that we need to keep, but requires our attention, requires our, like, focus. And so our Page of Cups here. There's two ways. It could be like creativity. Any new creative enterprises that, like, pop up or opportunities that occur, we can look out for those opportunities. We could try to make those happen. If it requires say applying to be an animator for like a YouTube channel, you know, do that application. Take the time to make that happen. So making applications, or submitting them, submitting your creative works, so that way you could get the ball rolling. Don't doubt yourself, just putting that out there, making these things happen. It's also receiving opportunities, probably a creative venture of sorts. If you are in a creative field. I'm so sorry, I'm so tongue-tied. It could be like receiving this invitation to like do an interview, or this invitation to join their team. Stuff like that. So that could be one manifestation of the Page of Cups. Another one is leading into like a new connection with another person that gets you on a emotional level. It can be romantic, okay. It can be that way. But I, as a demisexual, like to see it in a more asexual light, where it could be also a new partnership that understands you on a more emotional or creative level in order to help get this task done. Ads are going to pop in real quick, and when the ads are over, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this Four of Swords here. Oh. If you can't tell, I'm definitely a Gemini. I don't stop yapping. Never stop yapping. I'm really half tempted to go grab a drink. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me grab a drink here, and I'll be right back. I think that's why I'm getting so tongue-tied. So I'll be right back. Hopefully before the ads set in. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I'm not playing music. Let me take this off. Because I'm not playing music. A little bit of latte. As quick as I can do to get a drink. And we should be back from ads. Okay. So wrapping up here, Page of Cups, there could be a new information, new connection with another person that could help you with this endeavor. Oh, thank you for the welcome back, Sweet and Sauerkraut. And welcome back, everyone, from the ads. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It can be a new connection, a new partnership more than anything. It could also be taking the time to maintain submitting your works, whatever that requires submitting works, maintaining it, putting it out there, whatever it is. I, as a creative person, keep thinking like submitting short stories or like submitting your art portfolio. It could be something else that requires your attention to put your submissions out there, or receiving information about like, hey, we like what we see, we like to connect, and would you like to have a phone call or an interview, something like that. So do maintain submissions, do maintain your applications. There may be something you need to like look into. Do strive to create connections. Once you do create a connection, do maintain it. This could be a connection to someone who's willing to delegate with you. Maybe. But, don't come in with that expectation. But they may be willing to help, delegate or like take on some tasks that you're burdened with, help lighten the load so that way you can focus on this, or at least help you stay on task at the very least. Last but not least, we have the Four of Swords. This is something that you should protect. This is creating that quiet space with no noise, no news, none of this. No one coming in disrupting you. No one like coming in saying, hey, do you have a moment? I need like help on something. Or like, can you take on this project? Close the door. Revel in the silence. Focus. Revel in that silence. More than anything. That is going to help you, give you back some of that joy, air signs. This quiet, this solitude, this contemplation. That way you could ruminate on what you need to do to make this happen. Revel in it. We're also going to look into Portal Keeper to like help you out. Portals are gateways to other layers of reality. They can be accessed through inner practices or externally in places such as the planet's vortices. Gently explore the edges of your existence. Spend time listening in the forest. Deepen your meditation practice. Dance yourself into ecstasy. Explore psychic tools and study new healing modalities. If you feel lacking in purpose or life seems a little mundane, remember there is never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the iceberg. Magic exists wherever you care to find it. Look between the lines to limitless discovery. So what I'm taking out of this is, how do we do this? How do we do this thing? How do we create this silence, this space? It could be finding ways to meditate or new ways to meditate. It could be going out, doing a nature walk. Whatever it is that's going to help you get to this stage. Quiet the negative thoughts in your mind. Change that modality. So that way you can focus on this. I hope that makes sense for air signs. If y'all have any questions, by all means, ask away. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to water signs. And they're the last group of these readings. So any questions, any concerns before we move on? awesome. I'm glad that you think it's a great reading. I want it to be as comprehensive as possible and explore our parts of the reading. I have a tendency to like think creative works, creative arts. I know that not everyone is in that field or in that industry. So I'm trying my best to like be a little bit more expansive. Okay. Last but not least, water signs. If you are Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, this will be your reading. Oh, thank you, sweet sauerkraut. I was a little bit unsure. I am a rambling rose. I could talk on and on about things. Again, this tarot spread is about like the spring cleaning that we need to do, what we need to focus on, what we need to ignore or toss out, so to speak, and what do we need to keep. Those are the kind of readings I have been focusing on today. You're also cleaning right now. Understandably, this is a good time to clean before the new moon hits. This is totally a good time to clean. If you want to do your spring cleanings before April hits, this is the week. Things will go really smoothly for you. I really need to do some spring cleaning this week, and I've been focusing on other things. Probably the best time to clean. If you ever want to know the astrological time election type of thing, it's always going to be the last quarter all the way to the new moon. You can do it a little bit before the last quarter hits, but usually it's like last quarter to new moon. That is a really good time to start cleaning and getting rid of stuff. That's also a good time to like cut out refuse, cut back weeds, pull them out, etc. Yeah, most people do. Most people, even though no one is like really into astrology, I have noticed that most people have a inclination to clean around that time. It's not surprising. If you're the type of person that kind of goes with the flow and you have the time, most people do clean around this moment. I kind of feel it. I did some cleaning. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week, I think. Because I knew that like something was gonna grab my attention and I would never get anything done. And surprise, surprise, I received some news last week that really grabbed my attention and like really threw me out of the loop. And I mentioned it like in the past streams. But I found out like my stuff got pirated, and then like Meta came along and used the pirated stuff to train their AI. So that was fun. So it's not like a wonderful feeling to like process and deal with. It took me a while to like finally get back to, get back into the saddle. Start writing again. But it was just not a fun situation. Okay, water signs. Thank you so much for your patience. Let's go ahead and get you going. What's in disarray? Kind of disarray is the Four of Cups in reverse. The domain that we're focusing on right now is the Five of Wands. This is something that is within your control. What you can't control that you need to ignore is the Lovers in reverse. What is in your control that you need to say no to is the Six of Cups. What you need to keep but requires your attention is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Last but not least, what you do need to keep that brings you joy is the Ace of Pentacles. And let's go ahead and get a helper. Oh, okay. And we'll go ahead and read that last as we go through this. So I usually take some time to read over the cards, see if there's a concise message that's going on, and usually I bring out the big book to make sure I'm reading it right. I'm going to double check here. I think I know what's going on here. And I'm also going to double check this. You always get the urge. Oh yeah, I already read that message. I'm so silly. Sorry. I thought that was a new message. Okay. We're dissatisfied. Okay, let's check the Lovers. Oh, and new people, I normally have music going on in the background, but just in case the data packets were interfering with the download from Twitch or that connection with the Twitch servers, we're just been sitting in silence. So I know that's a little bit eerie for some people. It's really eerie for me. I really love music. So normally it's not this quiet. I usually have something in the background. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if that is the case, let me look at Six of Cups here. I am going to look at the rest of the spread. Sorry, it's taking a little while to suss this out. Hold on. Okay, I know what's going on. Alrighty. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpios, and Pisces. You are currently unhappy. That's probably a little bit not enough to like say how unhappy you are, but like the circumstances that you're dealing with is terrible. You know, you're so upset that things are not the way you want it to go. You're not being emotionally fulfilled with how things are progressing. And sure enough, it's no surprise we have the Five of Wands here. This is about arguments, conflicts. People are like talking back at you. You are yelling back at them. You know, whatever that's like coming into a screaming match. There's a lot of conflict that's going on. Surprise, not surprise. You know, of course you would be angry about this. You'd be upset about it. This is something that's really getting under your skin, and you're wondering, well, maybe I should leave. Maybe I should go elsewhere. Maybe I should do something else entirely. You know, I don't want to deal with this anymore. The reason why you're having these arguments and you're feeling this frustration is what's happening here with the Eight of Pentacles. You're not really committing to what is emotionally fulfilling for you. You are feeling like for some reason you put a basket over it, or you swept it under a rug, and you have been ignoring what is emotionally satisfying for you. It could be putting someone else before you. It could be putting your dreams on hold. It could be whatever it is that is so dissatisfactory for you that you have been ignoring what is emotionally fulfilling for you, that is making you happy, and something that you really want to invest but you just haven't committed to yet. That's really the root of it. Okay. Water signs. That's kind of where you're dealing with these conflicts and issues, and why you're like feeling like so unfulfilled, so unhappy with how things are progressing. You want to change things up. It totally makes sense. If you're not experiencing arguments of some sort, you're dealing with a lot of disruptions where a lot of people are, you know, kind of like minimizing you, beating you down, like telling you, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, you know, that type of thing. And you're trying to push back against it. That's kind of like what that domain is. You know, fighting for what you believe is worth fighting for. And trying to do this pushback. And of course, you know, it's going to leave you unsatisfied because you're trying to like figure out what is worthy of your time and connection. Your emotional investment. The reason why I was taking so long in this reading is because I have two cards that are kind of like in conflict with each other. You have to ignore this idea of moving on. And you also cannot run for nostalgia. You know, you can't. I think the issue is don't run away from what is going to be emotionally satisfactory for you, but it's not going to be emotionally satisfactory from a sense of childhood need. I think more than anything, it's about what is going to be a major opportunity for you. That kind of emotional satisfaction. So dealing with the Lovers in reverse. The reason why it's saying don't move on, or at least ignore the idea of moving on from a situation, is because it's not prepared for you yet. It's not a good time to leave yet, at least for this Aries season. At least this month, things are not prepared for you to go ahead and move on. That's kind of like revealing for the backside, you know, behind the veil, behind the curtains kind of situation. Just letting you know, like, things are not aligned for you yet. You're not ready to, like, move on from here. Things are not set up. Just stay put. Don't worry about it. You know, don't think about this. You know, this is not here. Don't focus on it. Look away. You know, that type of thing. So even though you have this like dream of like, I want to run away from this situation, I want to change these circumstances, I want to move on and like leave this conflict behind, do something else, it's just letting you know, not yet. Not yet. You know, for some reason, something is like putting a hand on you, like, hold your horses here. So for right now, this could change later on, but for right now, stay put. For whatever it is, things are just not prepared yet. Whatever it is. It could be that it requires more time to invest in this, to know what this is. That requires you to investigate and cultivate. And that could be the prep work that allows this to be a green light. It's also letting you know that in your own wheelhouse, you have this capability of moving to a place, or maybe not a place, but a mindset that is rooted in your childhood, something in the past that's very familiar and routine and comforting. It's letting you know, no to that one. You know, no to this. Don't stay in the routine. Don't do something that is comfortable for you, because you could be ignoring what is emotionally fulfilling for you because it has become routine for you to ignore it. You had always been ignoring what is satisfactory for you, and because you got into that routine, you're going to have to break it. You have to break what is familiar to like start getting this rolling. That's going to be the root cause of your enjoyment. And it's not going to be childhood. It's not going to be like what happened in the past, you know, something like that. It's going to be something new. Something new. Not something old. Don't go to the old ways, go to the new ways. So that is what they're talking about. Don't go anywhere, but don't go back in the past. If that makes sense to you, water signs. It's a little bit cryptic and it's a little bit broad. It could be in a romance. If we're going to do this in a romantic reading kind of situation, it's possible that you have been fighting with your spouse. For those who are experiencing this, Okay. Not saying this will happen, but just in case. If you are one of those who have been fighting your spouse or your loved one over something because you are not feeling fulfilled, maybe you're not feeling fulfilled with how they're dealing with the situation, or maybe you're not feeling fulfilled as yourself in the individual sense, and you've been neglecting yourself, even though you've been committed in this relationship. Don't move on from this relationship yet. And definitely don't move back into your childhood home. You know, you can make plans or start making investments to improve your situation that is more emotionally fulfilling for you, and it may not be the relationship itself. It could be the source of why you're having these arguments. It could be that you wanted to go back to school, to go for a totally different career, a totally different occupation or profession. It could be something like that. Ads are going to kick in. I ran out of pushing the ads away, so we're going to deal with one more ad breakage, and then we're going to finish off this reading. How are we feeling about this? I know it was a little bit broad. I know it was a little bit hard to understand. In fact, I just got like another insight about like the romantic situation that I could like dive back into about the Six of Cups. I realize I've been talking for so long where everything is just kind of like on fire because I've been using these muscles a lot. Like the back of my throat, like the sides of my throat, they're just a little bit inflamed because I've been yabbing for a while. And I know that I really need to like drink more water. But whew, everything's on fire. I've been yapping for quite a bit. Alright, we should be done with ads. So going back into this idea of this, romantic relationship that you're in, you're having arguments because you're feeling unfulfilled, or dissatisfied with everything. Not only it's encouraging you not to like move on right now, like this is not a permanent thing, okay? It's letting you know that you also cannot be stuck in a routine. Something does have to give, okay? I don't think it's the other partner who's going to give you that emotional satisfactory or that fulfillment. More than anything, it's going to be you having to create that inner fulfillment to make things happen. And definitely it's going to disrupt your routine. Because the Six of Cups not only deals with childhood, it also deals with the familiarity of the situation, something that we could take for granted because it is something we could always expect, something that always gives us comfort. Do make things uncomfortable. You're going to have to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to push the limit because you are in that routine. You're in that mindset of like staying in this kind of like toxic mentality of being in this rut. And deep down inside, you do want to change things. You do want to go out and do things. You just gotta find what is that nugget that gives you that satisfaction. And it may not be that relationship. But in order to like make things happen, you're gonna have to make some changes. So, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. This is kind of where you need to recommit and lock in what is worth your interest. Discover it, recognize it, and commit to it. That is going to be your focus, water signs. What is it that is going to give you that peace of mind that's going to be emotionally fulfilling for you? That's going to give you that satisfaction. It could be like a change of mentality. It could be like pursuing a new profession or a new career, or like getting a degree. If you wanted to get a degree and you never had, maybe, working ways to make it happen is the key. So whatever this is going on, you don't need to like dump and leave it. This is definitely not what it's saying you should do. Dump and leave it. Do make some adjustments. And you're going to have to break some habits. You're going to break some routines to like get there. Something you do need to cherish and protect is the Ace of Pentacles. Any new opportunities that comes along as you're locking in and making this happen and maintaining it and bringing attention to it. Any new opportunities that come along, do go ahead and seize it. And whatever it is, make sure no one else knows. No one needs to know. No one needs to know. You only need to know. You don't need to tell it on the mountain. You got this new cool thing that is worthy of time and commitment. No one needs to know. Because you have people who had argued with you, who like tried to minimize you, put you down, or like tried to be a wet blanket on the situation. People who are intentionally disruptive for whatever reason that they have. They just, for some reason, just want to disrupt and cause problems and be argumentative to be the sake of being argumentative, because they're dealing with their own issues. Whatever it is. They're not necessarily your enemy, but for right now, keep this a secret. Keep this your knowledge only, so that way you can protect this opportunity and let it grow. And it's not just any opportunity. This is a financial opportunity. It could be a new career. You could be applying to a new job. No one needs to know, especially if they're wanting you to stay in your old job. Okay. But don't leave or quit right off the bat. Whether it's a romantic relationship or a business relationship, whatever it is. Don't quit out of the blue. Do the prep work. Make it happen. Invest and lock in and make that commitment. That way, when things do happen and you do have a chance to move over, you can do so a little bit smoothly without any sort of disruptions, or at least minimize those disruptions that are occurring. So, I hope that makes sense. Water signs, it could be romance, it could also be business, it could also be whatever it is that is giving you conflict and problems that you really want to dive into, that like is very satisfactory and fulfilling for you. A little bit of hope from the Oracle card, our ancient future. An ancient remembering is emerging. Sea crystals and the knowledge they imbued with are becoming unearthed. Those who see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift this paradigm into balance. This card is imbued with activations, and you're being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will guide you. Okay, so since this card is talking about imbued with activations, we're going to have a better resolution so you can look at this card. You're making a shift, but you're making a shift that's a little bit slow, that requires preparation. That's probably why you can't hop over immediately. It's going to take some time to lay down the groundwork to make things happen. And it could also be like charity or like a group initiative, trying to get things rocking and rolling, and trying to make a better place for other people. It could be a little bit more community mindset, which would make sense because you're dealing with some, jerks who like want to bring everyone down just because they're different, or like whatever it is that like really like burns their butt. You are welcome to create a space for someone and make things happen that is going to be fulfilling not only for you but for other community members. So it can be that manifestation as well, or at least it could be that message that we could be looking into, that you may be wanting to create a community haven, and it's letting you know there's going to be some groundwork you have to do to make it happen, some preparation. But that only comes when you lock in, only when you commit to it. And it can't be the same old. It's got to be new. So, I hope that makes sense. Oh, and just in case you need a little look, in case that helps you get inspired. Okay, there we go. Like it said, it's imbued with activations. Sometimes we may not understand consciously, but our subconscious may be able to like take advantage of it, stew on it, and like come up with some really awesome insights. So you may never know. So that is it. That's all the readings for all astrological signs. So sorry that I'm going to have to end stream here. Again, we're dealing with another failing connection. Twitch servers are going to Twitch, But I appreciate all of you for being here. I really do. It's been a long time since I've done tarot, and but I'm glad I was able to like figure things out for all of you. I hope the messages are helpful. I hope that it is clear enough to like get some things rolling for you. Always do take some time to take care of yourself. If you need the time to do some self-care, please, oh my goodness, do so. And don't doubt yourself. Your dreams matter. It's okay to go after your dreams. It's okay to go after whatever project you're working on. You know, it's worth going through the disruptions. You know, don't doubt yourself. Very soon, I will go ahead and upload these on YouTube. So that way, y'all have a chance to like watch and like move around and like find the reading that aligns with your astrological sign. But until then, I'll see you all later. Thank you so much, Jordals, for the raid, and thank you, new followers, for coming in. This has been a wonderful day for readings, and I hope that you also have a wonderful day. This coming Saturday will be Final Fantasy IX. I am in the thick of it. Things are really rolling. We are really getting some major plot points, and I'm really excited. I'm finally getting to new territory with this game, and I'm just so happy with it. So can't wait for that this coming Saturday. So stay tuned if you have been following that. Otherwise, I'll see you all later. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those you love. And be kind, as always. I'll see you all next time. Bye. And there's no music, but next time there will be. I promise. Okay, I gotta go. See you all later. Bye-bye.